I've got Parker Smith here, who happens to be Randy's most important son.
Yes, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. There is a running joke in your family that don't know your sisters, and it's always fun to torture them like that. I've met them like 12 times each.
It's a joke with my whole family because I'm the only boy this generation. So I'm the favorite grandson, the favorite nephew, the
Okay.
favorite son.
Oh, I didn't realize there's no other
No,
no other male Smiths.
no, I'm the only one to pass on the Smith family name.
Oh yeah, well
Yeah, without me, it would fade into oblivion,
you
right?
just realized that that's the most common name for in the American household.
I
Right?
think Johnson and then Smith.
Got
So,
it.
guys like me, we have to do our part, keep it going.
Yeah. So talk to me. What's it like being the son of a raging maniac entrepreneur such as Randy Smith? Like, how do you feel now? Because let me tell everybody how this genesis happened. You were in getting your teeth cleaned, and unlike your father, and no disrespect, you don't have your own toothbrush in my bathroom. Like Randy keeps his toothbrush here, so
I know
I feel like
we're not on that level yet. We'll get there one day.
Right. We'll bring the toothbrush over here. When you bring your toothbrush over, that's a whole different level. That's breaking the barrier.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
all.
yeah.
That's the next level. So
That's like giving the keys to the apartment.
yeah, exactly. So you're here getting your teeth cleaned, and Ashley, our hygienist, who's also well known in the bulletproof world, says like, "Hey, you really gotta get on the podcast." And I'm like, "Okay, well, that sounds great." And I kind of blew it off because I didn't know how this would fit. And then you come over, you're like, "Hey, I wanted to talk to you," and you start talking, and I was like, "Oh shit, this is great. Stop talking." Because I don't want to like run out of things to say. So I always like to keep it raw and real.
Yeah.
So
You literally like, nope, don't say another word. Save it for the podcast.
Save it all. So I only know like a quarter of the story, but it sounded getting good. So I'm like, great, let's roll.
What's funny about the whole thing and Ashley saying, "Oh, you should go on the podcast," is Ashley's been my hygienist since I can remember, and we have a good relationship. We always talk. But what's funny is most of the time, and I think this is everyone's relationship with your hygienist, is they're doing most of the talking because you can usually just thumbs up or grunt or smile, and she to go through a cleaning with her and then say you should go on the podcast. I'm like, Ashley, I don't say anything when I'm with you. You do most of the talking. But
that's why I love being a dentist, by the way, because I just love to be able to talk and and that's why I like podcasting. Like I'm just talking and
just hear yourself talk.
Right, it's great.
Yeah, it's great.
I get bad reviews in the podcast, by the way, and they say like shut the STFU, Craig, or something.
Oh, you just
gotta roll with
those comments.
Gotta roll with it.
Yeah, you can block the comments.
No, you don't want to do that.
What's funny is I realized, she's like, you should talk to Dr. Craig, get on the podcast. I started thinking about my whole relationship at home, and I'm like, God, maybe I should just shut up more and just not talk, and
you'll be judged as more popular.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And just, nod and thumbs up. So I've been trying that at home and I've had moderate success so far.
That's awesome. So get to the story. Like, you're sitting there in the hallway and Ashley's like, she's like, Parker should be here. And I'm like, well, what's up? And then go into the story of how it happened.
Yeah. So,
let me interrupt you just for 1 second. For those that don't know, Randy Smith is a very close personal friend of mine. He's spoken at the summit in Vegas. He's been a frequent guest in the podcast. He's been part of the mastermind. He's a really well-respected entrepreneur. He's got great energy, very close friend of mine, and just happens to be Parker's dad. So that's the context of Randy Smith. Sorry, in case this is a new listener coming in.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
What the hell are you guys talking about?
Dr. Craig, to me, Randy always just says, well, he's my dentist. But no, you guys are good friends. He's spoken to me about business and about how, you guys share strategy and vision and, all that fun stuff. So, which leads me to something we'll talk about later. But I'm an entrepreneur as well. I own a short-term vacation rental management business down here in Palm Beach and Broward County. So we service from West Palm down to Fort Lauderdale. We don't own the properties. We have owners who are either investors or, part-time owner occupiers who, when they're not using the property, they want to rent it out on sites like Airbnb, VRBO. It's a whole business to run one of these rentals. If they don't want to do it themselves, then they hire us. We take care of the A to Z, right?
Okay, just out of curiosity, it's a granular question, but I'm trying to draw a parallel to commercial real estate. What's the percentage that you typically charge as a percentage of gross income? Is that how it works?
Yeah, it's based on gross booking revenue.
Okay.
It depends on the property. Higher end properties will be about 15%. lower end properties, or 1 bedrooms, 20 to 25%.
Okay, so so let's just call it like 20% basically. What does the user get for that? Or
They get us to run the A to Z of the entire business without them doing anything. Basically,
so
they pay
booking.
so they pay the utilities and they pay their property taxes. We do everything else. So it's full service property management.
Cool.
But in addition to that, we have a revenue team that uses a dynamic pricing system to adjust their price to be competitive.
Cool.
We list on 20 different websites. We have a 24/7 guest services team. We have revenue meetings with our owners, where we give them advice on, what the price should be, what the minimum booking should be. And then, of course, we manage the guests when they're in house. So, a lot of vacation rentals, it's like you just rent the house, you never see anyone, you never talk to anyone. Here, we try to treat them a little bit more like a hotel.
So if demand goes up, you have the price elasticity to say the price last week should be the price this week, or
yes,
and you're cross-referencing different platforms and different properties that you're using, I imagine.
It works a lot like airline tickets.
Perfect, yeah.
So
I use this analogy all the way. I just want to bring it to dentistry for a second. Look, if you and I want to fly to LA tonight, we can get there. There's probably a 9 o'clock flight out of Fort Lauderdale. We'll get there, reverse red eye, whatever the hell you call it. And it'll be probably a couple $1,000s. But if we want to fly to LA in January, it could be a couple $100s, and you'll wind up sitting next to somebody that this guy paid thousands, or we paid thousands, and they may have paid a couple hundred. The problem in dentistry, and I want to just bring this to your attention because it's kind of frustrating, is that we don't have that. So if someone wants a cleaning today, and we're a major participant on a bunch of insurance plans, we're booked up like 6 months in advance. Cleanings are like $60, $70. And there's no open time for a guy like you who could afford a $100 cleaning or $120 cleaning to get in. So the parallel I want to bring in is price elasticity is really important. And if you're a dentist out there taking a lot of insurance plans and you're booked up 6 or 7 or 9 months in advance, and a guy like Parker calls and that can afford a $100 cleaning and says, I want a cleaning, you can't see him for a while. He's going to find another dentist. So I think it's just important that this price elasticity model has something to do with dentistry as well. And for those that are taking a lot of insurance, always reserve at least some time every day or every week for a last minute fee for service or full paying patient. Just a little, I don't know, made me think of that. And I'm having like advice Tourette's right now.
Because it's dynamic pricing, right? Dynamic pricing.
So it's not price elasticity then. Or is
it's the same thing.
Somebody
right?
fact check us and put in the
comments. Jamie, fact check it.
Okay, you want to call Jamie?
Yeah.
You know what? He's right here. I have a phone. Keep going.
We do dynamic pricing. Besides that, we also do housekeeping, maintenance, what have you. So I have some owners who are really involved, some owners who are totally
elasticity of demand.
Yeah, and some owners who are totally absentee. What's interesting about that is, I assume you can probably run some sort of model to figure out what's the ideal number of vacant slots to have based on how many last minute bookings you're getting or how last minute call-ins.
Yeah, it'd be a great idea.
If you do that for like a year, you could probably figure out, okay, we need to have, I don't know what that number is. Is it 5% of slots open? Is it?
Right, but no one does that, or at least most people don't do that. So it forces the fee for service patients. So, people that pay a lot of money are used to getting their way. So if you have insurance and dental insurance, it's not uncommon. You'll call the 4 or 5 best dentists in the year, and they're all going to tell you 3 months. You tell the higher end clinics, they have open time for you. It's just, it's like when you call a hotel, like, sorry, we only have the suite available.
Yeah.
Okay, well, shit, I need a room.
Yeah, I have to book it.
You have to book it.
Yeah, so we do something similar. It's a lot of it is automated with how the price changes, but a lot of it's not, right? So if we know there's like a festival coming up in Delray, or I have houses in Wellington for the equestrian events out there, right? So there's some manual input there too. But we found the ideal range is about 3 months out is where you'll make the most revenue. So people will book last minute, but they won't book if it's too expensive. So the revenue you get from a 3-month in advance reservation is actually higher than if you get someone booking, for tomorrow night. And then if you go past 3 months, it goes down earlier than 3 months.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very cool. So let's get to the story of how you wound up on here. I'm sure it just wasn't to talk to the few percentage of listeners that have vacation rentals and want to do.
Yeah, I have the plug, right?
No, but
it's either that or a free cleaning.
Yeah,
so.
you're micro niche though, because you said Palm Beach and Broward. Are you willing to take our listeners in Texas?
We do have franchises in Texas.
Okay. Oh, cool.
So it's a franchise.
Okay.
I'm the owner for Palm Beach and Broward County.
Okay.
And which is why I have all of these great tools, because I have a
Okay.
national team who
Okay,
handles
so let
a
me
lot
make
of
a
this.
sales pitch for you. So if you're in Texas and you live in Texas, come to Palm Beach or Broward counties, buy something here and let Parker handle it, right?
Well, I mean, this is
Boom.
one of the best
High
places in the
five.
country
We'll
to
end
buy
it right
real
now.
estate, right?
Oh no, it's true. It has
Yeah.
been. Yeah, trillions of dollars have flowed into
Yeah.
to Florida. It's crazy. So let's get to the how you got here.
Mhm.
So we were walking out and you said a story that I'm like, stop. So I want to hear the full story. So Randy says something to you about like sends an email out.
So you want to talk about the descriptive vision. So
Yeah.
this is actually one of my earlier memories of, you being Randy's friend. I don't know how many years ago this was. I feel like I could have been in high school or something like that.
Well, how old are you now? 17?
28, 29. I just turned 29.
Okay, got it. So I'm going to say, okay, so I wrote that thing in 2008.
2000. I was in 8th grade in 2008.
Okay, so this is the timeline.
Yeah.
So it's 8th or 9th grade for you.
Yeah, and that, it stuck with me. So in 8th grade, my dad sends me an email. I probably didn't even have an email account then. He like pulled me into his office to look at it. And he said, I want you to look at my friend, Craig, this vision he wrote, this descriptive vision he wrote. And I was like, what's a descriptive vision? I don't really care about this. Let me go play video games. He's like, no, this is important. I want you to read this. So I read through your descriptive vision, and I can't remember it clearly, but the gist of it stuck with me. And I remember the beginning where you talk about walking through the doors of your new office and greeting your secretary, and you kind of go through your day and some things about it. And he's like, he took this and he's making it happen, right? And here we are, all these years later, and you accomplished everything I remember, at least from this vision. And having an successful entrepreneur as a father, it's these little micro lessons all the time, everywhere.
That's awesome.
And
Good for you.
having the clear goal and the descriptive vision was a really important one. And I think about it. I've thought about it all the time, right?
Did you wind up writing one?
Yeah, so I ended up writing one about 8 months ago.
Oh, for the first one.
For my first ever one was about 8 months ago.
Oh, cool.
I thought about it a lot, but
share it with me?
Yeah, of course.
I'd love to see it.
I'll share it with you whenever. But no one's read it before. But it's
including Randy. He never read it.
No, he hasn't read it. It's kind of a personal thing, but I'll share it with
there's
you.
no judgment. I won't make fun of you for it.
No,
it's my personal one.
It's good. It's just
I showed you mine.
Yeah, yeah. You show me yours, I'll show you mine. It's just really cool. I'd always had these big goals and dreams and aspirations, and here I am. This was back in February, and I'm in middle of peak booking season in South Florida, right? So I'm only 5 months into business, 6 months into owning this business. Pets' heads are falling off. It's chaos every single day, trying to acquire new customers, guest services, trying to hire help. And I was like, why am I doing this? Like what is the end goal? Obviously, I want to have a successful business. I want to make money. I'm financially motivated, but like, how do I get there? Right? I have all of these lessons. I have all of this knowledge. I have my dad. I have these books I read, but I need that vision. And it clicked, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna write one of Dr. Craig's, visions, like that email I read. So I sat down and I wrote it. And what I love about it is it was so vague and like very free form. And I just kind of spewed my thoughts of where I want to see myself. I didn't even specify an exact time.
Let me cut you off for 1 second, because we're losing listeners because we're using a word called vision.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're listening to this, and I know there's a couple of you listening right now that are saying, "Oh shit, they're talking about vision.
Mm-hmm.
This is woo woo shit. This is like it's going to be great. Like just think it's going to be fucking awesome, and it's going to be awesome." It's not that.
Mm-hmm.
A vision, and it's a woo woo word, but it's a game plan.
Mm-hmm.
It's a highly descriptive game plan. And what I find is no one does this shit.
Yes.
Ever.
Yes.
No one does it. So they go on their life, and right now we're on the entrance of a mastermind class. We have 30, 40 dentists that are enrolled in our Bulletproof Mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
And the first step is like the vision. Just got a game plan. I didn't use the word vision because it scares most people.
Mm-hmm.
And they just haven't thought about it, just like you had it. You're well into your business career. You actually
Mm-hmm.
started the business. You're like, wait, what am I doing? Where am I going? And you had the foresight, because you had been told And you had been told, so you should have known better,
Yeah.
but you didn't. And I didn't know better either. My descriptive vision was written after I'd been a dentist for 10 years. I had never thought about like, oh, wait, what do I want to create?
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to throw shade on our masterminders or anybody that's listening to this, but like, it is not a normal thing to do.
Yeah.
And usually it's some form of crisis that prompts you to do it. You have to have a breakdown in order to have a breakthrough.
Yeah.
So don't tune this out. We're talking to you specifically. And if you and it's usually, I know where I'm going. I know. But then you start asking questions. I'm not sure. So without it being highly descriptive, it doesn't have to be pegged to a time, but what are you striving to create? Like, what's success look like?
Yeah. And you kind of just touch on it. It eliminates that doubt, right? Like, it explains your why, right? So I wrote this vision, and what's cool is you can be very vague when you're writing this, but being vague about this and, letting me just kind of spew out my ideas of what the future is going to be like, I worked backwards from there.
Good for you.
So now
that's the key.
Yeah. Now you have this thing that was kind of fun to write, but in there is really good information. And I worked backwards from there, and I wrote concrete goals that I want to achieve, within 3, 5,
Give
10
me
years.
Examples of what they were.
So one of them is to become the top rated vacation rental manager in South Florida.
Perfect.
Which just is reviews, right? More 5-star reviews than ever.
But I love how you have a thing, you have something you want to achieve, and you made it quantifiable. So like, I want to make more money. Well, here's $1, just made more money. So you actually immediately knew, how do I know the top rated? Like, just by Google. I have the most amount of positive Google reviews for anybody else.
Yeah.
So how many more do you need to be that?
Yeah. For Google, for Airbnb reviews is like our bread and butter.
Got it.
Right. I have, I believe right now, like 250 5-star reviews, which is really good.
That's awesome.
I want to be over 1,000 5-star reviews.
Okay.
Right?
And how long do you think that's going to take to get there?
A year or two.
Good for you.
Year or two. Yeah. And it's not just that goal, because it's so easy to do. There's this thing in psychology where it releases dopamine in our brains to talk about our goals and our visions. Right.
Yeah,
so we can talk about, I want to do this, I want to do that. It releases a little bit of dopamine when you even talk about achieving what you want to, because it kind of like tricks your brain into thinking it's actually happening.
Of course.
Right. So if you say, like, one of my goals is I want to have my own sailboat one day, right? It's a big financial goal I have.
Is it really though?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's a big financial goal.
It's bigger than Randy's, that little.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah. It'll carbon fiber. What is he going? Is he going to war in that boat?
Why do you need to go that fast?
Yeah, you don't. It's a sailboat.
About
relax.
Beer and chilling. Yeah, he's gonna slow the hell down.
Come on, listen to some Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah. I pour a little beer out for Jimmy, by the way.
Yeah. Sorry.
Just way to bring the energy down.
Yeah. Oh God. Sorry. No.
No, it's time.
Positive thoughts.
Yeah. So what else? What are the? Okay, so I'm gonna pry on this for a second. That's a tactical goal. That's an action goal. Did you spend time thinking about like the fulfillment side of things, like what's going to make you happy, or did you just plug in a bunch of stuff that said, if this, then I'm sure I'll be happy with myself, or happy?
No, because happiness is defined differently by every person, just like success is defined differently by every person. So what are your goals, right? Are they financial? Are they satisfaction with where you're at in your life, with your family, with your business? And it's easy to hyper fixate on the financial side, right? Mine, at least I did this, was not just about that, right? Is goals of how, what kind of business I want to have, right? So in one of my goals is to foster a good community with my employees and with my company, right? So I wrote that as one of my goals.
Beautiful. What did you say specifically about that?
Host regular events, including like an annual Christmas party, set specific days to do team building.
Yeah, your dad's great at that. So you grew up with that. You even worked at Heritage for a long time, so that was instilled in you.
Yeah, of course.
That's super important.
All of those values at Heritage, I feel like I've taken and kind of processed, and I'm applying them to my own business. It's so funny when when I hire, like my first interview is almost identical to the ones they do at Heritage. So it's cool to take something.
Do you have a Cyan Jamie yet?
No, I don't have a Cyan Jamie yet.
You got to get yourself a Cyan Jamie.
I know. I desperately need help, and something we can talk about.
Your Sire Jamie,
I could call you up. Could you do the interviews?
Well, I don't want to do your interviews. I'm the worst at interviewing, by the way. I hire the worst people.
Yeah,
because I'm
it's
a connector.
It's hard.
So
it's really hard.
I'll find the common thread for the worst person and I'll
Mm-hmm.
hire that person. I was banned from hiring. The last person I hired, by the way, and this is a true story.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. She seemed super sweet. She was a hygienist. She actually turned out to be a person that was a former stripper that got fired from the strip club.
Oh,
Yeah. Like, I don't know what you have to do
and
to get
why'd you fire
fired.
her again?
Well, she wound up, I think, what happened at the time was that my hygiene team, like, that when you hire for your organization and you have departments like I do,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like picking out an arranged marriage for somebody. Like, we have 6 or 7 at the time, highly functioning hygienists, and they're great. And they know what's required of the job. And I'm the one hiring, like, hey ladies, here's your new work wife. I hope you
Mm-hmm.
guys have a great, arranged marriage,
Yeah.
enjoy your, and they actually got to the point where like, we can't handle this person. This person's being disruptive. And they wound up terminating her employment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it really takes one bad person. I've seen it in different organizations to, ruin the morale or positivity of an entire
yeah.
department, right? Um,
Well, when
so
you're starting a company, you have to sell everybody. You have to sell them, and this is going to be great. But at a certain point, once you build something, don't sell people. Find people that belong.
mhm,
Everybody's looking for someone that can fit in and bend to fit in. You just want to find people that belong. And when you establish values and why you exist beyond making money and the things that you're trying to do, and you tell people that, they're like, I want to work there.
mhm.
So that the explicit definition of like what you're trying to create will have people self-select into your environment
Yeah,
versus like this fitting in.
yeah.
You
And
know,
starting a business, it's so you are selling yourself to
yeah,
hire the person, right?
yeah,
My first employee I ever hired, it was hard to convince them that, I'd be able to give them a steady paycheck.
yeah.
And that's just what you go through starting a business.
It's
Um,
very, very difficult.
yeah.
It is extremely difficult. I think looking back at everything I've had to do over the last 23 years, if you told me what was going to lie ahead for me back when I was starting, I don't know if I would have done it.
Mhm.
They say like an entrepreneur has like a poorly developed sense of the risks that are stacked against them, and
Mhm.
they're overconfident in what they can do.
You have to be
You
though.
have to be, or else,
Yeah.
because if you're going to measure it all, you can't, it's like going to war and you have like 11 bullets.
Yeah.
Like, wait, how many of them? How many bullets? Just don't check the magazine. Just run for the hills and
Yeah.
try
You,
to take
you got to just go
burn
for
the
it.
boat and storm the castle. It's hard.
That's funny you say that because everyone makes this mistake. At least I feel like every entrepreneur makes this mistake. And it's one of the earliest ones that my dad taught me, and I still made it, right? Randy told me that when he was starting his business, he couldn't make money for the longest time. That's all he was trying to do, right? Make money, make money, make money. He was trying to sell more jobs, hire the right people, not hire the right people, get people now when he needed them, right? Just to get the job done, move on to the next one because he needed sales in order to support his business and make payroll,
The
right?
tactical versus the strategic.
Yeah,
He was in the doing mode,
he was in the doing mode. And then one
not in the
day,
planning and conspiring and building mode.
yeah, one day he told me he basically gave up and said, I'm never going to make money. I'm, always going to be chasing my tail doing this. We're never going to get to a point where we're super profitable. All I'm going to do is focus on being the best flooring contractor I can be, run the best business I can, and, focus on making my customers happy. So that's one of the best lessons. And I think, if you talk to him now, ever since Heritage was sold to private equity, he's still the president of the company, and the company is growing bigger than ever. And he feels like he's better at his job than he ever has been because all he's doing is focusing on running the company and not looking at how much money you're making every single day.
Well, it's
So
existential. In the beginning, you start a business, you outlay a lot of capital, you hire people. In the dental corollary, we hire associates. They're on guaranteed minimums. They're
mm-hmm.
sitting twiddling their thumbs. You're thinking the money is like literally flushing down the toilet, and it's really scary. So the idea of this existential threat that you're going to go out of business because you run out of money is very, very real.
Yeah,
So it's not an unfounded fear.
yeah,
So you're running around like crazy, like, where can I get a flooring job? Where can I, and that panic and that threat will sink most of us because it affects our psychology.
yeah,
If you have poor psychology, a mentor of mine says 90% of the reason why a business succeeds or fails is the skill set and psychology of the owner.
mm-hmm.
And of that 90% of that is just the psychology.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're running around like a panic animal, and I was for 10 years or more, you're going to screw everything up. You're going
Mm-hmm.
to micromanage the shit out of everybody, how did you lose that sale? What did you do? Because
Mhm.
that could be the end of it for you. You
Yeah.
know what it's like.
Yeah. And I see myself doing that sometimes. And,
Yeah.
part of it, part of you has to be that way, right?
Yeah, I agree.
You have to be a little bit crazy to, to learn the business, to stay on top of everyone and to keep, the train moving in the right
Yeah.
direction. But at the same time, I kind of realized I was doing this and I stopped focusing on, what's my revenue number every single day. I was looking at how many new bookings have I gotten today, like in the last 24 hours. Instead, over the last 6 months or so, I've focused on how do I acquire new customers, right? How do I make those customers happy? That's all I'm focusing on.
Yeah.
Right.
Of
You
course.
can always turn the dials later, right? My margin isn't exactly where I want it to be. It goes up and down a few points every single month. These are, my housekeeping price, how much my vendors are charging me. These are dials that you can turn at a later date and have it make a big difference. But when you're growing and you're still small, right? All that matters is customer acquisition and keeping your customers happy.
Yeah, it's adding value.
Yeah. So
You can add metrics later, but adding value. Your business is nothing if it's not adding value.
exactly.
Yeah, it's like starting a pizza shop and worried about like how much flour you're using per pie.
Yeah.
People like the fucking pizza.
That's
Because if
it.
they don't like the pizza, I don't care how good your ratios are,
Yeah.
you're going out of business.
Yeah.
We're
It
getting
doesn't
Dan
matter.
Portnoy to come over and drop you like a 7.9 or did you
Yeah.
know that happened locally, by the way? And
He went to a shop here.
yeah, they went to a shop here and blew them sky high in
Oh
Boynton,
my
right,
God.
right here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's it
Shout out
called?
to Abit's Pizza. What a weird
Beats.
name, but like I can't get in now.
I gotta check him
Dave
out.
Pointer comes over, like drops like an 8.9 or whatever he does.
Mhm.
It is instantaneously
Yeah,
crazy.
that's a good rating.
Don't quote me on that. Jamie,
Damn.
fact check that. It's very,
Fact check
it's
that.
very,
Pull it up.
yeah,
Pull it
you
up.
can't get near it.
Yeah.
But it's true. Like a lot of us are so myopic in our businesses. We're going through CPAs just drive me batty because it'll
Mhm.
tell you all this. Like we revere CPAs as business experts. They're they're just people that tell you what you're supposed to pay in taxes. And
Yeah.
by the way, they don't tell you what you're not supposed to pay.
Yeah.
And I love your dad's line. Your dad's line is always there's 6,000 pages to the tax code,
Mhm.
and only like 5,970 of them or 30 of them tell you what you should pay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I got that totally
Other way
backwards.
around.
Yeah, let's edit that, Jamie. Other way around. 5,970, 30 of them tell you what you don't have to pay.
Yeah.
And they're called loopholes or government incentives.
Yeah.
And like CPAs, like they're like, my CPA told me my ratios are off, or my CPA told me my payroll should be 1 point lower. I'm like, does your CPA run a successful business?
Yeah.
No, then
Yeah.
STFU, don't talk to him.
Yeah.
Like just because you're a CPA doesn't mean you're a business expert. Talk to a guy like Randy. Randy's helped me immeasurably.
Yeah. Oh God.
Immeasurably.
Me too. We're going through it right now.
Yeah.
This is the first cycle where, I've had a year and we're doing my taxes. And this was something I was always terrified of. I'm an idiot and I didn't get a business degree, finance degree, accounting degree, any of that. I studied sociology.
No, but you're
Right.
going to get it. It's just going to be more expensive and longer than if you just got the training originally. You're getting an education.
I'm getting the education from my dad too.
Yeah,
I go to the
too.
Randy Smith School of Business,
Yeah.
who is an expert on tax matters, and he has everything except the letters after his name.
Yeah.
Right. So,
and I know the guys with the letters after their name. I'd rather have Randy than a guy who has a degree in theory.
yeah,
He has a real world
yeah,
experience.
real world experience.
No shade to the business school people, but a lot of those people are taught by theorists, business theory, and the real world. Tell me what the theory of HR is until you have like a disgruntled employee.
Then what do you do?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, pull out the handbook for that.
Exactly.
Yeah, we just went through this, and we met with my CPA. Randy has all these ideas that my CPA might have gotten to it down the line, but sets it up front of what we're going to write off, what we can't write off, and kind of demystified accounting for me. And it's crazy because I'm a franchisee, right? So I have this massive network of other franchisees around the country going through the exact same things I am, right? And franchising is fantastic for that reason, right? The franchisor, they help me, they do the revenue, but the main asset of being a franchisee is that I can pick up the phone and call
the network effect,
20
the mastermind,
20 people doing the exact same thing I'm doing right now.
That's what we have at our mastermind.
Yeah.
Everybody's solving the same problems, and like, this is a unique way to do it.
Most of them were, either worked corporate jobs, have never been a business owner before, or have other backgrounds not related to entrepreneurship, and they have no idea what they're doing with their accounting. they don't
We as
understand a
dentists
P&L
have
statement.
no idea. No one teaches any of this shit to us.
Yeah.
Nothing.
It
So
is.
it's not the fact that you don't have letters behind your name, because the average dentist graduates with like $400,000 or $500,000.
Yeah.
We know nothing about money, business, P&Ls, leadership, and yet we wonder in dentistry why most of us are super unfulfilled. I don't know if you've heard the statistics, but there's a high suicide, drug use, divorce
Oh my
rate
God.
in dentistry. It's not looking good. And I think one of the primary drivers is that we're thrust into small business ownership. We're told it's the right thing to do.
And you weren't trained for it.
Nothing. You
Yeah.
know what it's like if you play tennis and you've not been trained to play tennis? You
Yeah.
get ball smacked at
I
you.
have. It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. Or ice hockey, and
Yeah.
you get a puck in your mouth.
Yeah.
That's what happens for most of us. So it sucks. But I'm glad that you have the franchisees at least to bounce things off of, because most dentists don't even know.
I end up teaching them
Wonderful.
because I learned it from Randy, right?
Yeah.
And
That's what I do at Bulletproof. I take it from Andy, I give it to everybody else.
It's so overplayed and so cliche, but having a mentor is probably the best thing you can do as an entrepreneur. If you were to make one change tomorrow to improve, your business as an entrepreneur, it's find someone who's done what you are doing better, or or before you, and copy them.
Right.
Copy them exactly. And
so that you're using words that are really, I just want to translate some of the words because I want them to land on the dentist that's listening here. So you're using the word entrepreneur. I would like you to substitute that business owner. Because what's happening is people will self-select out. Like, well, I'm not an entrepreneur. Well, you own your business. You own your practice.
Yeah.
And yes, at a certain point when we graduate dental school, we know nothing. We have a degree to work on teeth, but we don't know teeth that well. So the first thing you have to do, the natural cycle, is to learn to be an expert dentist. And then after that, like, you've got this team here. You've got hygienists that are doing this, and the business systems and admin people and rent and taxes. You must pivot at a certain point and learn business.
Yeah.
So like your thing, you were trying to be the entrepreneur first, and what's my ratio and all this stuff. And like, oh wait, I'm a business owner. Let me make sure my customers from Airbnb are like super freaking pumped that they're using me.
Yeah. And it's funny, and correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like at the end of the day, having your dentistry degree and practicing dentistry is the easy part, right?
Yeah.
The hard part is running a business and being a business owner.
Yeah.
Like doing your accounting, doing your taxes.
Well, it's in the zone of your
really
control.
difficult.
So what's easiest is to do everything within your control. And then what's hard is to exert your influence to control outcomes of other people. So it's scaling.
Yeah.
So, you can have a great, single dental office, but try to do 10.
Yeah.
And just because you're great at 1 doesn't mean you're great at 2 and 3 and 4.
Yep.
And there's a natural tendency to get overconfident when they scale.
Yeah. Ego is a huge part.
Yeah.
I definitely struggled with that at first.
Well, you're young to be getting over your ego if you're telling me you're over it.
Yeah. I mean, I thought
it was like the Bill Gates of dentistry for the most of my career until I realized it definitely was not.
Yeah. So I started, 16 months ago now. And, I have all of this training from the Randy Smith School of Business, let's not downplay it. He is a hyper successful, brilliant entrepreneur, right?
Yes.
So this was my dad.
With a shit ton of energy.
I don't know where he gets it, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. So this is my mentor, right? This is the person I picked to guide me and help me along, which is one of the best mentors anyone could have, right?
For me too. I feel the same way.
So
you guys should adopt me.
Yeah, right. You want to join the family? No, can only be one son, and you're older too. So right now the estate goes to me. But
all right, you outed me. I was trying to get the estate. Let me get the carbon fiber boat.
Yeah,
it only weighs like 10 pounds. You could just drop it.
You can take the boat. Yeah. So where was I going?
I don't know. I'm just trying to distract you.
Yeah, I know, but this is
so you went to the Randy
point.
Smith
so we went to
School
Randy
of
Smith
Business.
School of Business, right? Ego. So I signed my franchise agreement. Wire the money. I'm a business owner now, and I had this ego about it, right? That like, oh, I have a business. It means nothing unless you actually build it, right?
Of course.
So I guess a comparison would be if you own a dentistry practice, right? Just because you're a doctor and you have this practice, what are your goals? What do you want to scale it to, right?
Yeah.
So
preaching to the choir, brother.
Yeah, and swallowing that ego, that, oh, look where I've come so far, look where I'm at. that means nothing if you don't actually take steps to where you're going next.
Yeah,
So
or at least know what you want.
yeah,
I mean, I give a massive kudos to anybody who knows what they want. And the typical answer I get is, what do you want to create? Well, I want to open like 3 or 4 locations. And then what? Well, then sell it. And then what? And then sit on the beach and drinking champagne for how long? I
yeah,
don't know. I haven't thought about that.
yeah.
So
No,
there's
no one's happy doing that forever,
no,
right?
yeah. I've sat on a beach and drank, done that.
We're doing that in St. Bart's, and
Yeah, but not for a month. But I'm saying, like, I've taken extended time off. I've been fortunate to have a business that's grown to do that. And after a little bit, it's really unfulfilling.
mm-hmm.
I think the ultimate freedom is just being able to control your outcome of your life. That was my personal thing. I just
Mm-hmm.
wanted to have the ability to do what I wanted. And now I can be wherever I want. Today, it's a Wednesday. Today we're shooting this on a Wednesday. It's during business hours, and I'm here at the business.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to be here today, and I just want to be here. So I think that's the ultimate goal for me. But it took me a long time to figure that out.
Yeah.
And I had so much ass kicking. So if you're having this conversation for you at 28 or 20, you're
29.
29. Holy shit. Good for you, man. So proud of you, man. So proud of you. Because there's a lot of people that are in their mid 40s and 50s that just haven't gotten to that clarity yet.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough. From, if I look at my peer group too, and look at my age right now, right around 30, I have a ton of friends who, they're going on almost 10 years in their careers, right? I have some friends who are making really good money. I have friends right now who they're at the age they all are in the residencies, or finishing the residency if they went to med school. Friends who are lawyers, or friends that are just accountants, where they've been working for a while and they're making good money, and they're succeeding in their careers. And it's so easy to have this almost jealousy, right? Where it's like, I'm a business owner, like I'm busting my ass every single day. Like, obviously, these people are working hard too, but it feels like they're further in their careers than I am, because I feel like I'm just pounding my head against the wall every day trying to grow. And part of that is how, I kind of shrunk my ego and realized, let's not compare, let's not look at our peers. Let's look at someone who is doing exactly what I'm doing, right? Let's look at other 29-year-olds who are entrepreneurs trying to grow a business, that they've been in business for a year or two, and let's learn from those people. So that's, what I've been networking with other franchisees, and learning from them and creating my own path for the future, instead of trying to get either a big head or, looking out the window to be like, oh, the grass could be greener over there, right?
Yeah.
This is what I want to do. How do I fulfill myself in this role?
I remember, now you're bringing up something, like I remember being your age, like late 20s, early 30s, and a newly minted dentist. And for the dentists and the residents and those medical professionals, they spent all your life in school.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just turning their first dollar of profit at 28, 29, 30. And never mind that, they're saddled with hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt.
Mm-hmm.
You're saddled with debt, presumably because you bought a business, but
Yeah.
it's a performing asset that's immediately performing cash flow. This
Mm-hmm.
is, and so is the medical license as well, but it can be crushing for them. And I remember feeling, as a young 30-something-year-old person, like always comparing myself to everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you get enough trips around the sun and you get to my age and you see, like, okay, money, happiness don't equate, and fulfillment don't equate. I know a lot of very, very wealthy people that I would not want their life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not being cavalier about money. It's, you have to have it. Without money, you have money problems, and money problems suck. I've been there. But once you sunset your money problems, you have superfluous cash. It doesn't increase your happiness. So I think the most important thing is that your intention, you know exactly what you want, and you'll get it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll have to reinvent that vision and say, okay, what's next? Because you need progress. You're never going to be happy. Satisfied. High achievers want to keep growing, but always having a plan of growth. And your dad was like that too. I won't bring up your dad went through something when he sold the business. He went through like a bout of insomnia. Remember that? And I was thinking about it because it was driving him batty, and I felt really bad because I love your dad. And it was like he was used to the adrenaline of running a business, and all of a sudden he sells it. The money shows up at the bank, and it's like, okay, where does this energy go? Because yes, he cares, but you don't care when you're not playing the game. Like if you're watching roulette, it's different than if you have $1 million chips on the
Yeah.
table.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm like thinking to Randy, I'm like, and he probably doesn't agree with this, but I'm like, I guarantee it that he's taking all that energy that he used to expend at work, and now it's just bing bonging his head like a ping pong ball.
Yep.
It's not allowing him to sleep.
Yeah, it's so funny. Me and my sisters, my mom, like we saw this happening before our eyes, right? And knew he was going through this insomnia, and we all knew the answer. The answer was that he didn't want to retire and go live on a sailboat forever, right? We joke about that's what he should do.
Right.
And he has a ton of hobbies and he does the sailing thing, but he has to keep his mind engaged in business ownership, entrepreneurship, mentoring. And, it's so cool watching him become this, counselor for a lot of
a
people,
respected advisor, mentor,
an advisor for all of these people and doing what he's doing. I feel like that's kind of the natural progression, right?
Because it's the natural progression for all of us. There's a wonderful podcast on Oprah called From Strength to Strength. It's a book and a podcast. And it's about something that happens that, like, in the first phase of your life, you're where you are, you're actually doing it, you're in it. And then, like, you have to transition to coach and guide others. So you learn what you need to learn, and ideally you should give it all away. If you just keep going the same curve, you won't achieve your way out of it. So it's like this transition. I'm really proud that Randy did it. But I think it's really important to point out, because a lot of people have these hollow goals of, like, I want to make the money and then go sit on the beach. You can't do that. You have to engage yourself. A human being is meant to be stimulated. And if you don't have it, you're going to go crazy. That's why, like, I'm on Team Never Sell on the podcast. We talk about this because there's a massive gold rush of people.
Team Never Sell to practice.
Yeah, because there's a massive narrative in dentistry, because everybody's incentivized to do it. Sell your practice, call me today. And then they refer you to the private equity guys and they get a vig on your practice. So everybody's out there, like, with Instagram shorts, like, there's the law of, the doors are closing, the money's running out, do it today, call me. And then they call you and they refer you, get shit tons of money. And, like, Peter and I are, like, Peter's the partner on the podcast, and I think you've met or heard about, at least. We're just staunchly, we're really a big proponent of, like, create your business such that you love it. And since you're the master of your domain and you can maximize your business for exactly what you want, do that, be intentional. And then you don't want it to go. It's like most people, like, I want to sell it. Well, why? It's driving me shit, batshit crazy. They fix it, they make it profitable. Now it's more sellable, and then they don't want to sell it. So people want to sell failing businesses. Typically, a lot of times it's like they can't get it right. But if you can just maximize and get it where you want, it's always going to break down. There's people, when the people are messy. When you scale it, the people drive you crazy. There's always 5% of your customers are driving you crazy. But I'm just a big fan of, like, build it right and then hold on to it.
That's a big thing in the STR management space.
What's STR management?
Short-term rental management.
Sorry.
Is everyone?
That's not industry.
Sorry, vacation rental managers. Everyone has this goal. I'm going to grow to 100 units and sell, 200 units, sell 300 units, sell. Right, and it's fun to kind of fantasize about that and like what the number could be. I see myself 10 years from now doing this. I've grown to 300 plus units. We have fantastic cash flow. Why would I sell it? Right.
And you know what you're going to do with the money, right? Invest in another business.
Just invest in another business, and then I
you don't know about, thing, right? Yeah, but you don't know about
and
it.
I won't have 10 years of experience doing it. And you fall in love with what you do. Right. It's so easy to, look at some of my younger friends or people who, I don't know what to do. I don't have a passion for this. Randy didn't have a passion for flooring, right? His dad called him when he was 19 and said, why don't you come to Florida? We'll start a construction business. They didn't even know what kind of construction they were going to do until he got to Florida. They're like, oh, we could do flooring, right? He kind of just fell into it. His passion was being a business owner, right?
And people.
And people.
So Randy is a connector and a relationship builder. His passion is connecting in relationships. And when you have that passion, like you do, you have that same tendency. You're just building relationships with the Airbnb owners. And, like, imagine how many people out there, like, I'd love to have vacation rentals. I just don't want to deal with all this shit. So you're helping people not only, get a place to stay, but you're helping a lot of people pave their way to retirement. You're giving another alternative investment vehicle for those that wish to own vacation rentals.
My favorite customers are ones who did it themselves and then hired me. Because they're like, thank God, that was not worth the 15%.
They almost need to. So when they're like, 15% is a lot, do me a favor, do it for 6 months. I'll help you. Here's the cleaning lady. Here's the guy at the toilet. just do it. And then
Yeah.
call me in 6 months. Let me know how it's going.
And then, people who've never done it, they're like, why am we paying you this much? What do you even do?
Right.
Do it yourself.
Right.
Do it yourself. And,
how much is it to retile my bathroom? That's ridiculous.
Oh
okay.
My God.
Here's the knee pads. Here's the grout.
Yeah.
Call me in a week.
Have fun.
That's awesome. Well, I want to be respectful of your time, but this was awesome.
Yeah, this was great.
Cool.
Thanks for having me on. It's
kudos to Ashley for making this happen.
Yeah, that's cool. It's so funny to have that descriptive vision that I've thought about for, my whole life. I feel like writing down this goal.
Yeah.
I finally did it because I had a passion. I went so long bumbling, not really knowing what I wanted to do or how I was going to do it. Finally found that avenue. And I was like, it's time. Let's put pen to paper. Let's make, this passion I have a reality, this dream I have a reality.
Pain though, too, it sounds like. You had to have the passion and the pain. Like, obviously things were, you had pointed to something not going 100% right to say like, okay, what's my plan here? What am I doing?
Yeah. So it's cool that, it kind of all started from your, descriptive vision that you wrote all those years ago. So.
No, I appreciate that helped you. And for those that are listening that can't really give the elevator pitch of what they're trying to create, and it's spiraling around in their head, put pen to paper, go to a space, dedicate an hour or two of your life and write out what you want to create, because most people lack clarity. And when you don't have perfect clarity, your team can't follow you. They can't know what you're standing for and what you're trying to create. So it's really important. And I'm proud of you that you did it. Also,
Thanks,
thankful that Randy thought highly enough of me to send that out to you. That's awesome. No, but appreciate you. I appreciate your family, and I appreciate you spending time with us today.
Awesome. It was fun.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks, dude.
Awesome. Second podcast for you, under the belt.
Yeah, right. I got another one next week.
That's awesome. You're a podcasting maniac.